Welcome back to Hermitcraft Season 10. This is episode 19. And look at me. I have been AFK for the past couple of days. I have 517 levels, which makes me a tiny bit nervous. And hopefully, I have got a bunch of stock for the gold shop. Okay. This is pretty good. That is what? That's like nearly 2 double chests worth? No, it's not. My maths is terrible. It's like 3 chests. Of course, I brought no sugar boxes with me. Oh my goodness! Scar's thing just completely nailed me. That would have been a horribly embarrassing way to die. So I've got my sugar boxes, but while I'm over here, I'm also going to pick up a handful of redstone components because I'm going to install something in the gold shop that I should have done a very, very long time ago. Oh, hey, look, I just found some more stock. I cannot wait to have an actual storage system. So all of the gold is going in, and now it's time for me to add in an automatic refilling and diamond taking system into the gold shop. I don't think it should be too difficult. I just need an item filter underneath here. I'm gonna put in a double chest for my diamonds. Yeah, that is hopeful. I have heaps of wool left over from doing the outlines for my base, so now I can do proper looking redstone on the Hermitcraft server. Now the wiring for the minecart is all hooked up. I just broke my ender chest with a fortune 3 pickaxe. Excellent. And this little setup right here is going to fill up our minecart chest with all of the gold automatically. So hopefully I should be able to stay in stock for a little while longer. I've also finally done what you've all been telling me to do. I've improved the price of my gold. It is now 4 diamonds per stack instead of 3. But as a final act of malicious compliance, these gold nuggets, if all of the gold runs out, will go in. If someone's willing to pay 4 diamonds for 1 stack of gold nuggets, then I deserve to be in trouble. Because clearly, my pricing is very far off. By those maths, I could charge, what, 36 diamonds per stack of gold? The restocking saga was almost over, but then I got a message from Grian. He said he's put some iron blocks from his AFK session in my rock box. Okay, that's actually a fairly decent quantity. He was there for so long, I have no clue what he's building. How many chains does he need? Seriously. Is the man building a dungeon? Should I be fearful of him? Wonderful. That should do the business for the time being. I don't know how we've arrived at a point where iron costs less than gold, but here we are. And hermits, if you're watching this, please remember, don't shop at my shops. Let's get to work on some building, shall we? In the previous Hermitcraft episode, we laid out all of the wireframes for all of the builds on this area of the mountain. And I gotta say, now that I'm back and it's been a few days, really happy with it. I think the composition and the way that everything is lining up looks great. I spent all of yesterday working on the graphic design and concept art bits, and I'm extremely excited to get started. So let's get the ball rolling with the Boulder Bros. Gosh, this is by far the smallest full build or full kind of business on this area. So I didn't really want to do concept art for the build itself because I kind of imagine it as a yard. Like there's a small little hut and then there's going to be piles of rocks. But I did still want a piece of concept art that informed some of my creative decisions. So I present to you the official Boulder Bros promotional calendar. For anyone who's spent any time in like a lumberyard or a work yard, you'll know that they tend to have their own calendars. It's like a strange thing that I wanted to try my best to recreate for my Minecraft build. And I think it's come together pretty well. They were clearly scraping the bottom of the barrel when it came to accreditation because they've got Big Ron approved on there, which I don't know if that really means anything. So that's a little insight into the psyche behind the Boulder Bros themselves. Now let's crack on with the build. And this was actually a bit of a process. You know, originally I was just going to have a tiny little shop type thing, almost like a worker shed or a storage container, and then have piles of rocks. And although that idea kind of remained fairly unchanged, I'd say the building got considerably more complicated just because I realized on this scale I was going to struggle to make it look like anything other than a featureless block if I went for anything too simple. So I switched out that idea for almost like a cabin, and I wanted the cabin to look as rickety and as handmade as possible. So I ended up using hanging signs, which is a bit of a weird technique, but I think they almost look like wooden tiles. I really like the way it's come together. It gives tons of depth, it gives tons of features, there's a lot for your eye to focus on, and then as the roof started taking shape, I started thinking about how the Boulder Bros would actually go about moving all of these massive stones around. And I thought it would be cool to add a little crane on top. Now this took a little bit of time to work out the placement of it. There were lots of things that didn't look quite right, but after shifting it around for a while, I ended up with something that I really like the look of, and then the little claw hanging down in front looks great. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how they would articulate it around, but you know, we can leave that up to our imagination. And then finally, we've got the hanging signs, which show the Boulder Bros name. And weirdly, I went through a bunch of different wood types before going back to the concept art and seeing that it was an orange and white logo. So I should definitely use orange and white signs. And I think that ties everything together. So let's take a quick walk through the area. And I'm going to do this from a few different distances. First distance is the far away distance, almost the compositional distance. I think it fits in quite well. Then we have the flying in distance, which is great because all of the entities start to load in as you fly up to it. And at this point, I think this is where it really shines. This is a very kind of detailed, lots of things going on build. You know, it's only tiny. It's really, really small, but I've put a lot of time into it, and I think it shows. I think it's got a nice little soul to it. You know, it's got a heart. I know that sounds ridiculous to say. Feels weird saying it, to be honest with you. You could probably tell I was apprehensive to say it, but I like it. Like, I really, really like this little place. Almost feels like a shack that my granddad built or something. Again, it fits into the world nicely. It's got a story behind it. I think it goes well with the other two builds, which is great because this is a balance that I didn't really want to disrupt. I was a bit nervous of disrupting it, so I'm glad I'm staying on the same wavelength here. Yeah, I am super, super pleased. This is great. This is going well. Now, as I was building up the Boulder Bros, Joel popped over just to reassure me of something.
Hello, Mumbo. I've just come over here because I saw your tweet. I'm not sure if you saw it. It was a while ago, but I just wanted to let you know I'm back to making videos now.
That took me a long time. I
sent you on Discord.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, I did.
It's been 10 years, so I thought you should probably know.
Look, I wasn't lying. I've been a big fan of yours for an extremely, extremely long time. And when that was brought up, I did see that. I saw. Did
you actually? Someone tagged me in it. I thought it was quite funny.
I feel like it is a good time to mention. You know, Glint. I was a big fan. You know, loved the days of Glint. I remember the. You know, you and Matty Mondays. That was going on.
Matty Mondays. Yeah, that's good times. Good times. Is Big Ron still got the diamond deals on?
No, I think he's sold out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Who owes Scar all these? Did you buy any of these or?
Oh gosh, I'm so jealous. Every single time I fly over the mountain, I see your like incredible town, and I swear like a new building seems to pop up in that place a lot, right?
Oh, it's taken out of me, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, but
I got the colours as well, though.
Yeah, there's very colourful. I think it's gonna get less colourful over time, but I've put these in place to like kick myself into gear because I am so terrible at getting started, like really, really bad. And I'm looking at, you know, I said I was a fan of yours 10 years ago. I'm still a fan of yours now, clearly. Because every time I fly over the mountain, I'm like, man, I need to click myself into gear. So I'm starting to work on my town a bit more as well.
Nice. I'm excited. It's going to look cool when the whole mountain's surrounded. I also noticed that you've still got the statue Etho built you around here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know the backstory behind this, but I do know that Etho is obsessed with you. Etho might be the one fan of yours that's bigger than me.
I'll let you know now because it was about 3 months ago now, but that I did build that statue in case you didn't realise. Did you not know that?
No, I didn't. Oh, that's really disappointing.
I built it thinking that you'd hate it, and you actually liked it. I was well disappointed when I watched your video and you liked it. It was meant to be ugly. I was framing Etho.
Oh no. Well, that's. I mean, look.
I'm glad you like it still, kind of.
Well, the thing is, Etho is someone who I feel. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but he doesn't really show much like positive emotion towards people.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's
so
true.
then when I saw that he had built a statue of me, I almost cried. And now you've ruined my day.
Well, do you want to I can make you more jealous. He actually built a statue of me.
Oh my goodness. So. And now that that's all cleared up and I've revealed myself to be a super fan of both Joel and Etho, let's crack on with the next build. And that is going to be this one right here. So if you remember correctly, this lime green area, this is the farmland. This is going to be farm storage. And then that is going to be the farmer's house. And then all of this is going to be the crops. But just on the edge of that is going to be the miscellaneous items. This is going to be all the random stuff. And I want to do this in the style of almost like an antiques / junk shop. You know, one of those shops that is just overflowing with stuff, things, general items of questionable origin and questionable usefulness or stylishness. Now, I've decided to call it Jill and Bob's Bits and Bobs, and I have done some concept art for this build. It's just a concept sketch. I didn't get around to painting it this time, but I feel like it does a good job at getting the message across of what I want this build to actually be. So this build overhangs the edge. The whole kind of lore behind this one is that this is a shop that, because it is overflowing with things, has gradually expanded over time. And you can see there's almost like an original structure here, and then there's bits that are tacked onto it, and still there is not enough storage. So there are loads of opportunities for just items and things to be stacked up on shelves, both, I guess, internally, but more importantly, externally as well. To the point where they've actually installed a ladder on the side of the build, and they've now started storing things on the roof. That is how far this has gone. It is completely overflowing with random bits and bobs. Now, just like a lot of the other businesses in the area, I've also designed a business card for Jill and Bill's Bits and Bobs, and it looks like this. A place like this wouldn't have an actual business card, so it's just written on a piece of paper, and you can see there's no email, there's no phone, there's no website. The only way that you can know if they're open or contact them is by knocking on the door. I feel like that is totally in character, and I'm sure many of us have at least once been to a shop like this. So that is everything that I've designed for Jill and Bill's. Now let's go and build it. And I have jumped around for about an hour trying to decide where to start and what colours and what block palette I want to deal with here. I guess this is a good reason to paint my concept art. I know that I definitely want one of the sections to be a cyan tone. It's then just working out what to go with it. I'm going to fly around the server for a bit for some inspiration. Whoa, this is cool. 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 Whoa, this is Oh wait, that's my base. Okay, I now have a brain full of cool ideas, and I've decided I'm going to mix orangey tones, or I guess these are kind of more reddy orangey into orange tones, and then there's going to be cyan tacked onto the side. Opposite ends of the color wheel, it's going to look lovely. Let's see what this transition looks like. Okay. I actually think that looks quite good. I think that is a strong start, but I do think it's a little bit bland, so I'm going to add in this, which, yeah, I'm curious how this looks. I'm kind of seeing this as like a structural brace for the bottom section of the overhang. And there's going to be shelves and things, and partially, I think this is going to be covered. I like it. I like it. Yeah, that's worked out. It just adds a little bump of saturation. I think all of these kind of sit in a very similar saturation level, whereas that is, well, I guess it's not that much more saturated now that I think about it, but it's a slightly different tone. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I'm liking it. But before I get bogged down on the details, I want to start work on adding the attachments to this build. So there's going to be one in the back, which I've got in the concept art, and then I think I'm going to chuck another one onto this side as well. And you can see I kind of have some blocks worked out in my inventory. The more I think about this, the more I don't like the fully saturated cyans, so I might try and ease them off a little bit and mix things up. Right, I'm just going to start chucking some blocks in. I'll see where I can go with this. Oh, these blocks are so cyan, aren't they? They really are. Like, they are an intense color. I'm going to hide the fact that I fell off there by pretending that I want to turn around and look at it. I actually quite like it. I do think we are... These are blending in a bit too much with that. Like, it's basically hidden, right? Yeah. Maybe we need cyan across the bottom again. Or maybe, I mean, I do think I should still add cyan in here, but maybe I should extend it really far down. Like, maybe I should add some supports that go right the way down to the bottom. I mean, that probably makes the most sense, right? Like, architecturally? Okay, I've been faffing around a little bit more, and I think there's something happening here. I think if I can add a little support underneath, or maybe when we just get the trees higher, then I can work out what to do. I have to remember, a lot of this bit is actually going to be quite obscured by all of the trees. If we look at the forest line, yeah, this is going to be tickled. This is going to be tickled by these. I'm also potentially falling into the trap of judging a build too early before I've placed in all the details. Like, imagine what Willie's would look like if it was just a raw build without all of the extra bits. It would look pretty pants. But equally, I don't want to waste a bunch of time adding bits to a build that is pants to find that actually it's been pants all along. I just flew all the way to the shopping district, but I don't know what I've flown here for. Okay, thing number one is definitely beehives, because they look a lot like cardboard boxes. This is my least favorite wood type to gather by quite a considerable margin. These also aren't exactly my favorite just because they always seem to be so far apart from one another. And you also get so little wood per tree. And trapdoors are stupidly expensive. That is the only reason why I'm gathering this stuff. Okay. I would say this is interesting, and I would say it's cool. And I think if you know that this is a junk shop, it's good, but there's too much going on. So we need to commit to one tone here. I think we need to either get rid of the stone or get rid of the cyan. Oh, and part of me is leaning towards getting rid of the cyan. I'm even considering switching all of it to pink. I could go with cherry blossom. That also could look quite nice. Yeah, I think I might also need to reduce the number of boxes that I have. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to sleep on it and return tomorrow morning. And that seemed to work out pretty well. I came back the next morning and had a new kind of energy for the build. After being quite confused, I decided I would reduce the number of boxes because I definitely felt like they were too much. I thought I would keep the color scheme relatively similar, but then increase the height of the build just a tiny bit and add some consistency towards the top. Add in a few more windows, add in some features like balconies and things to make it more recognizable as an actual structure, and of course put a roof on top, and all of those things combined actually made this section of the build work. I was starting to stress out. I actually didn't think I could do it, but I've managed to pull it off, even if it did take me an embarrassingly long time. So now it's time to work on this part of the structure. By the way, I forgot to mention, check out this little thing. I really, really like this. I kind of wanted something to draw the eyes downwards a bit more. So I've added in this, which is almost like a stuff lift. It's the way that these people, Jill and Bill, transport the items from down underneath here up to their shop. I love it. I don't know what's happened to me lately, but I just really love decorative hoists and lifts and things. Right, let's get to work. Okay, so I'm going to add another cyan section to this area here. Just a small extension to the front. The inventory situation is abysmal. Okay, currently this looks really weird, but I think once we add all of the details and things, it will start to look good. The roof is definitely helping the situation. And now that I've got all the boxes in and a few of the details and things, I really, really like this. I think this has come together well. I think it fits the miscellaneous items, just random bits and bobs vibe really nicely. So this is going to be the entrance into the place, and I'm going to work on that in a second. I think for now I actually need to kind of scramble some more boxes around the local area. Yeah, okay, nice. This is great. I mean, it's definitely one of the busiest things I've built in a very long time, but that's kind of the point. Like, it's meant to be a really busy build. There's meant to be loads of things overflowing from it. It's a bit of a weird style for me, but I am enjoying it. Okay, we got door. Nice. Okay, this looks great. Right, let's move on to this section. So I'm thinking couple of windows, maybe a little shelf going around here with some boxes on it, and then the roof, which I think I want to slant like this. I think in the concept art, I had it going diagonally to this corner here, but as I've been thinking about how I would do that in Minecraft, I just think it would look a bit awkward. Like, those sorts of angles are a bit tricky to do. So instead, I'm keeping things fairly linear, and as far as I can tell, things are going well. Like, I like the way this is coming together. I love this block combination. Tough, this stuff, and then the mossy stuff, and then slightly weathered copper. It's just the best. All of them have really nice matching undertones of green. Sometimes I think I haven't actually gotten better at building. I've just had blocks added to the game that I like. Like, if you look at all of my new builds, look how much, like, the percentage of blocks that are being used here that have been introduced in the past 3 years. Right, let's see where we're at. Nice. Okay, cool. This is now looking like an actual structure. It's looking cool. I think the big standout thing was this area here looks pretty flat, so I'm going to start adding in all the windows and, of course, all of the boxes. Oh, I've just remembered I need to add in the ladder. The ladder needs to go up here, up to the roof, and there's going to be boxes on the roof. I'm still not entirely sure how I'm going to do the ladder, so I'm going to cross that bridge when it comes to it. For now, I thought I'd do some work on adding some boxes and some windows to the front, which I think has come together really, really nicely. I just need to add the supports for the roof, and then I think we're done with this section. I tell you what, I cannot believe the inventory situation when you're building. I mean, it's just crazy. The problem is, almost all of the crafting recipes leave blocks behind. So that means that every time you craft something, which you need to craft things all of the time when you're doing lots of building, you just end up with loads of leftover blocks that you don't have space for. It's like, if you want to craft up a trapdoor, you use up 2 logs from your stack of logs, and then you're left with 2 planks after you've crafted the trapdoor. So you need 2 more spaces for 1 more item. I don't know if that made any sense, but I feel like it does. Now, these copper trapdoors, they need to be powered to be opened. No, they don't. They actually work like wooden ones. I did not expect that. Okay. Oh, I've got an idea for how to build our ladder. Yeah, that was me accidentally pressing the escape key. That's how bad I am at using the keyboard. How does that happen? I don't know. I don't know how my finger got all the way over to the escape key. Oh, and on the topic of complaining about crafting. Wow. 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 I know they've changed it in the latest snapshots, but this is still, I mean, the fact that even went through Mojang's decision process. What? This ladder idea, this best look good. If this ends up looking ugly, I think I'm actually going to quit. But I don't see how it could. All right, so those are the edges of the ladder. And I don't mind it in the raw copper, although I do think it will look a lot better once it's cyan. And remember, I've based this on the fact that these are going to go cyan. Yes, I was a bit worried that it wasn't going to connect up to the trapdoors. But I think this works. I think that looks like a ladder, right? That totally looks like a ladder. Remember, this copper is going to be aged. Okay, it's all going to be cyan. I'll give you a quick. Oh, look, that's what it's actually going to end up looking like. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. How does it look on the wide? It looks really cool. Oh, that is awesome. Yes. This build has actually worked out. I was so scared, but I actually think it's come together. I think we should do something to transition this to the top. Maybe something like this. Yeah. Yes. Nice. Now it all looks connected. That's made my day. Super cool. Okay. Our odd bits and bobs shop, Jill and Bob's Bits and Bobs, is now all completed. I guess the final thing to do is add in the little signs. Put a couple boxes up on the roof. Oh, what a satisfying sign that is. Okay, job done. What a fun Hermitcraft episode. Loads of graphic design stuff, loads of concept art, 2 really cool builds that I'm super chuffed with. Restocked my gold shop. Small Beans hasn't quit YouTube. It's been a very good day. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.